Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation on Android with PCSX2 ARM64. And it seems as if PCSX2 ARM64 has made some advancements. So at the time of filming, there's a brand new pre-alpha build, and they say here, now with only the OSD enabled for interactions, FPS, VPS, emulation speed, and version to clean up the display. And also, please provide your own PS2 BIOS file. I would say here that PCSX2 ARM64 is still extremely experimental, and emulators like NetherSX2 and even Play may outperform it in certain areas. Anyways here, this is also very interesting, and this is right up on Trixarian's fork of PCSX2 ARM64. Please use the ARM-SX2 or ARMS-X2 or subscribe to Mr. Sujano, however you wanted to pronounce that, fork of this project once it releases. It'll be the most up-to-date and functional version of this code. It is worth noting, ARM-SX2 is different. It's a fork of PCSX2 ARM64. Now, there are a couple of things worth pointing out. First and foremost, PCSX2 ARM64 is not officially anything supported by PCSX2. It's its own separate thing, and the PCSX2 folks probably won't be able to support it in any way, shape, or form if you have questions. Secondly here, while there is an early alpha build of PCSX2 ARM64 out there that we just talked about, there are no builds right now for ARM-SX2. If you happen to stumble across an APK, it's either 100% fake, or it's an early test build of ARM-SX2 that's already way outdated. This emulator is being actively developed, and someone here is testing Melty Blood Actress again. We've got NetherSX2 on the top and ARM-SX2 on the bottom. And it says right here on the ARM-SX2 GitHub, the PlayStation 2 emulator for ARM64 platforms. We have no source published yet, but will when 1.0.0 releases. Next up here, we're talking about Nintendo Switch 2 emulation and fake Nintendo Switch 2 emulation. And to be honest with you, I don't even know why I'm talking about this one. A number of people sent this one in asking me to talk about it, so I am. I'm not going to ignore my audience. Anyways here, just taking a look at this, this is 100% fake, and another one of those fly-by-night fake emulators that try to pass off being real. So it's called Maxim Emulator, and they say here right on Twitter, big news, Maxim Emulator boots its first game. Mario Kart World now boots, a bit with broken graphics and not making it in-game. This is still a very big milestone. This is 100% fake. It's not real at all. There are no Switch 2 emulators out there right now, and none of them can boot anything. No joke here. We've already seen a handful of fake Switch 2 emulators out there, and we're probably going to see more as time goes on, and some may even have Patreons and stuff like that attached to them, trying to profit off people's hopes and dreams. At this point in time, there are no Switch 2 emulators out there, and there probably are not going to be any for a long while. Maybe that quote will age like milk. Hopefully it does, but realistically here, don't expect Switch 2 emulation anytime soon. Next up here, we're switching from something fake to something very real and talking about FreshRSS. If you're a fan of RSS feeds, you might be a fan of FreshRSS, and you might even be excited to know that FreshRSS just got a brand new update. For those who may be unaware, FreshRSS is a lightweight, self-hosted RSS aggregator, and they just released version 1.27.0 with a bunch of nice goodies in it. So on top of a whole bunch of bug fixes, UI improvements, Docker improvements, and even more, they've added in some very nice quality of life stuff, like adding sort by category title or by feed title, and also custom feed favicons. On top of that, there's also security improvements. And speaking about improvements, next up we're talking about Retroid, and Retroid has improved their dual screen latency to nearly zero. So although a lot of people seem to be excited about the dual screen add-on from Retroid, it did come with a cost, a 3-frame delay cost. And Retroid had chalked that up to possibly be just a hardware limitation, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I would say this is a significant breakthrough for Retroid and a very big win overall, and I think a lot of people will be excited about this one. Or people with that screen will be excited about this one. If you already have a secondary screen, or if you've ordered one, or if you were thinking about ordering one, I'd recommend checking out this Retro Handhelds article. And again, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below. I guess this is right from Retroid. They say, we're excited to share an important update about the RDS. The device originally had a 3-frame latency that was believed to be unfixable, but thanks to the incredible work of the Retroid team, this has now been reduced to nearly zero. This improvement requires a firmware update for the RDS and an OTA update for the console. And then they go on to say here, to ensure all units benefit from this breakthrough, shipping will be delayed by about 3 days. And I would say that's like nothing. Customers whose orders have already shipped will receive a special cable free of charge to update their firmware. All future orders will come pre-updated. And then they thank Retro Game Core and TechDweeb for their testing. And I would say 2 good things of this. 1, Retroid is doing right by their customers. And 2, good on TechDweeb and Retro Game Core for calling it out during their reviews. And speaking about gaming handhelds, next up we're talking about AYN. In yesterday's video, we talked about Ayaneo opening pre-orders for the Pocket DS, something that a lot of people seem to be excited about. And AYN has come to the table to directly compete against the Ayaneo Pocket DS by unveiling the Thor. And this one also seems to be powered by a Snapdragon CPU. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a price, I don't have the specific specs, and I don't have a release date just yet. I'm assuming we're going to know a lot more about the Thor as time goes on here, but we can see based on the teaser trailer that it is powered by a Snapdragon. We're going to have to wait and see what happens moving forward on this one, but let me know your thoughts about AYN Thor versus the Ayaneo Pocket DS, at least with this initial concept. And speaking about learning more about stuff in the future, next up we're talking about Monster Hunter, and this is one of the 2 things we're talking about them in this video for. The first thing here is the latest on Twitter, and they say, to our hunters playing Monster Hunter Wilds on PC, we're committed to listening to your feedback and improving both performance and stability of the game. Although we will continue to implement gradual improvements in the weeks ahead, we are targeting free title update 4 this winter to implement a multifaceted plan, including CPU and GPU related optimizations, followed by a second stage of mitigation measures afterwards. I would say this is great, but also a lot of eyes are going to be on that free title update 4. And the second thing we're talking about with Monster Hunter Wilds is their collaboration with Final Fantasy XIV. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy and a fan of Monster Hunter, this may be a match made in heaven. They did announce this one at Gamescom, I believe, and if you're interested, check out the trailer. Links are in the description below. A lot of people seem to be excited about this one, and the collaboration is happening in October, which is pretty soon after this announcement. And speaking about people being excited about stuff, next up we're talking about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And this trailer got a lot of people talking, and arguably not in the best way. At the time of filming, here's the top comment on that video. 2 clans locked behind $120 Canadian. Are you out of your mind? It's €90 here. This is insane. Yeah, they deserve to fail. It just, a lot of people do not seem to be happy about this one. Having clans behind a paywall is crazy stuff. 495 likes. This person says, pre-ordering after this development hell, they must think us mad. No creating a character and locking classes behind a paywall. Bold move for a game with zero confidence in it. This isn't Bloodlines 2. Give us back the game we're waiting for. For those wondering, pre-orders are now up and the game is releasing October 21st. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about reveals and Gamescom and stuff that was revealed around Gamescom or at Gamescom, and next up we're going over a bunch of stuff here and just kind of a recap of what happened yesterday. One of those is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Legacy of the Forge DLC, which has millions upon millions, like over 130 million combinations for the house. Bethesda unveiled Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, The Order of Giants, and the big takeaway from this one is the fact that it is heading to the Nintendo Switch 2. Sonic Racing Crossworlds is collaborating with Pac-Man, and they have an announcement on their open test, which starts at the end of August going into September. Atari announced Bubsy 4D. If you're a fan of Bubsy, this might be up your alley. This one to me is very exciting if I played Helldivers 2. they've announced a Helldivers 2 Halo ODST collaboration. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Dragon Pearl of Destruction has been revealed and is being brought to us by Limited Run Games. If you're a fan of iRacing, but maybe the lighter side of iRacing Arcade has just been teased. This one here has me very interested. It's called Death by Scrolling, and it's been brought to us by the person behind Monkey Island as well as Maniac Mansion. And I don't have a release date for this one just yet, but the pixel art style, the kind of frantic pacing of this one does look really interesting. And this one here was expected by a lot of people, and they weren't necessarily let down entirely. There was no release date for this one, so I think a lot of people were upset about that. But Hollow Knight Silksong gameplay was showcased. However, and this is a big however, Team Cherry has a special announcement planned on YouTube for August 21st, and I'll drop a link in the description below. And speaking about announcements, but not necessarily at Gamescom, next up we're talking about a fan game here, a Emulation fan game called Street Fighter Cross Pretty Cure: The Ultimate Challengers. And this one has just been revealed. If you're a fan of Street Fighter, which I am, and a fan of Pretty Cure, which I am not, I don't really know a whole lot about it, this one might be up your alley. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Now, honestly, if you're a fighting game fan, I do think Emulation gets overlooked quite a bit for a lot of the creativity and wackiness. Although this may not necessarily be up my alley in terms of collaborations. At the same time here, Emulation has a lot of very interesting fan stuff. And speaking about fan stuff and modding, next up we're talking about Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Now, we talked about Wuchang Fallen Feathers with their recent controversy regarding their update patch that completely changed the story. And it seems that modders have already patched out Wuchang. And that is very interesting overall. I'll drop a link to the IGN article in the description below if you wanted to read up more about it. From my understanding, this was not a simple mod. It was a fairly complex one and also added quality of life improvements. And I'm very curious to see if this mod ends up staying up or it ends up being taken down. And speaking about controversial stuff, next up we're talking about AI in game development. And this is being reported over on Video Games Chronicle, and listen to this headline. Dead Space producer Glenn Schofield says he's 100% AI for game development. I recommend checking out the article for more information on the matter, but there were a couple of quotes that I found very interesting and very telling. Like this one here, everybody's spouting out about AI. I am in the thick of things. The one thing that they always tout is that you can make great concept art and cinematics. Do you know the last thing fans were telling us? Don't make cinematics. And this quote here, and to me this is the telling quote, and let me know your thoughts about this one. So we got to continue making games. I look for clever ideas to make games cheaper, but I'll always be looking for tools. We're always trying to make it cheaper, more efficient, faster, and better. I'm curious, if a game is made for cheaper, will they pass that cost savings on to the customer or not? My gut tells me they won't. I mean, we've seen game price increases over the years, and I don't see that changing. I don't see any savings being passed to the customer. On top of that, according to new Google Cloud research, 90% of games developers are already using AI in workflows. So let me know your thoughts about that. This might be a hot take here, but I would say that this is the quiet part out loud and also the obvious part out loud. A company being able to do things for quicker, cheaper, faster. Big word being cheaper, resulting in more profit. Less developers, more output, and at the end of the day, the company makes a lot more money. Will the customer be saving money in the process? Probably not. And speaking about AI and tech and all of that stuff, last up here, we're talking about Google. And Google is having their Made by Google today. I'll drop a link in the description below if you wanted to check it out live or watch it afterwards. And I'm very curious to see what will be unveiled. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.